Let's go! Let's go, everybody. How we feeling? What's happening, Bama Nation? I know it's different. It's weird because it's not Monday, but Bama Vision hitting you right here. Hottest morning show here on the best network, talking your Bama content, Alabama football, the Bama Standard Network. I'm yours truly, Stephen M. Smith, here in the morning. Let's get that breakfast piece of that coffee, that pastry ready, because even though we've switched the day going from Monday to Wednesday due to some business obligations I have now, but time slot still the same, 9 a.m. We are still having Bama Vision. And appreciate all of you guys for being a part here of the show, being a part here of the conversation. And as always, people, we want you in the comment section. Go crazy in the comment section. Go crazy in the chat line. Get your questions, get your thoughts in. We're taking those we're taking your questions at the end of the show. We're taking your comments, your thoughts here throughout the show. We got a lot to get to today. We're talking what does a national championship offseason with Kalen DeBoer look like? We saw this a lot under Saban during his 16, 17-year tenure. We saw one thing in particular that played a marquee role in a big offseason for Alabama football during the Saban run. But what does that look like under Kalen DeBoer? We'll get into that conversation. We'll also get into, you've got former players helping current players train, prepare, get ready for the upcoming season. What does that mean to have those former players back re-injected into the program, helping these current guys in terms of trying to get to a national championship? And then last but not least, we'll get into my guy, Qua Russaw, and what makes him the next closer on this team when you talk Alabama football. So gonna have a lot of fun conversation about that. But as always, people, you know what to do. Hit the like and subscribe button, smash the like button, hit that subscribe button. Be a part of the show. We appreciate everything that you do here on the Bama Standard Network. Also, you check out my guys at whitwillsports.com. You see the title towel behind me in the background. This starts the winning mentality for every Alabama fan. And we want you guys waving that towel, twirling that towel like you just don't care, going crazy. 100,000 people strong all season inside Bryant-Denny Stadium on Saban Field. Go to whitwillsports.com. You use the promo code STANDARD. You get you a nice little discount here, courtesy of your favorite Bama network, the Bama Standard. Great product, great people. They stand behind it. I'll stand behind it as well. So be sure to get you that title towel today. But we get to these first few comments here from you, the Bama family. We got my man Bob Rutherford in the building with an RTR and a heart emoji there. Appreciate Bob Rutherford. Nick Beasley show in here. RTR, it's a Bama Vision Wednesday. That's correct here, Nick Beasley. The show normally on Mondays, but because of some business obligations I have now, it has switched to Wednesday at 9 a.m. But still giving you the marquee Bama content. Coach Juan in here with what up, man? Roll Tide Roll. Appreciate you, Coach Juan. Coach Juan also says, glad to see you back. I've been missing you. Hey, Juan, we still popping out Bama content. We're popping it out, man. Appreciate you, Coach, in the building. Son is here. We in here. Appreciate your son being a part of the show. Nick Beasley writes back, Ryan Williams going to be a dog this year after putting in that work with Smitty. It's very encouraging to see that from Ryan, putting in that work with Devontae Smith. And Nick Beasley, I always got the title towel on me during the season. So appreciate Nick Beasley there for his comments. And all of you guys being a part of the show. So go ahead right now, get your comments in, get your thoughts in. We're taking all questions at the end of the show. But again, the topic number one of the conversation, and this is on signs of a championship offseason. We're in the offseason now for Alabama football and college football in general. This is a fun, exciting time, right? And what makes it fun and exciting is this is where you start to figure out as fans, as consumers of your team, what goes into a championship offseason? What goes into having something happen in the downtime, and that plays a role in your team, your program bonding together, coming together, uniting together, and going on sort of a championship run. And in the 16 to 17 years here of the Nick Saban era at Alabama, we always knew what would bring a championship off season, right? And I know, I'm not trying to say this as a joke, but we knew in the Saban era, for the majority of his tenure, what made us believe, hey, Bama's going to win a national championship is because in the offseason, we saw players with a bit of an edge to them, go through a little bit of adversity, and they would come out of the other side better, stronger, team gelled together, team bought all the way in. And we as consumers were like, oh man, we're about to win a national championship because Bama went through some adversity here in the offseason. We saw a Bama player go through some adversity in the offseason. It's brought everybody together, and now this team is about to go on a national championship run. What do I mean by that? We all remember what happened in 2009. The offseason of 2009, Alabama defensive lineman Brandon Dederick went through some adversity in the offseason. What was that? The report was there was an attempted robbery that Dederick saw. He was trying to stop it. What happens? The young man gets shot in the arm. And we all know that Coach Saban did not want that news to make it to the media. It made it to the media, and it blew up. Oh, my goodness. Alabama player gets shot in the arm robbery attempt. He was trying to stop it. He saw it. What happens? Dederick recovers beautifully from the incident there, is able to play the entire 09 season. The team rallied around that. What happened? Bama went on to win the national championship in 09. Then you look at, 2017. We all remember that offseason, that summer. Raekwon Davis, former four-star from Meridian, Mississippi, before the 2017 season. He gets reportedly shot in the leg. And everybody's talking about it. Nick Saban doesn't want this in the media, but it gets out in the media. And what happens? The team, everybody they rally around Raekwon, like Big Ray gonna be all right. We gonna push through. We gonna use this as a team to fuel and motivate ourselves. And what happens? Alabama ends up going to the national championship that season, rallying behind Raekwon Davis. And it wasn't just those two. Coach Saban had some rough riders on his teams, whether they were rough riders chosen to be rough riders, whether they were rough riders due to the situation that happened. Saban had some rough riders. Whether you look at the Tony Browns of the world, the Reuben Fosters of the world, there were some guys on those teams under Saban that were some real deal, pure rough riders. And stuff happened in those off seasons to where, we as consumers went, okay, Saban's going to get on them. They're going to learn their lesson. They're going to go through their whole police ride-alongs and whatnot. And after all of that happens, they're going to get re-locked in, refocused, and Bama's going to ride that wave to a national championship. It became a running joke of sorts, even among the players, where it was like, it ain't going to be a national championship season for Alabama unless somebody gets into trouble in the offseason. That's what it was. But we as consumers and fans knew Bama got some offseason trouble. This is going to go away until this is going to go a long way until this program winning a national championship. But that was how the offseason looked under Coach Saban. What does it look like under Kalen DeBoer, right? That's the question now. What does a national championship offseason look like under Kalen DeBoer? And we're kind of seeing this unfold, right? This offseason, we have not seen anybody getting into trouble, and hopefully it stays that way. But we have seen these young men putting in the work. We haven't seen anybody go on a nationally syndicated show or podcast and they're giving can-do speeches. They're giving what we can do, what we're going to do, what we might do, what we may do. We're not seeing that. We're not hearing that. We're seeing these young men, they are putting in the pure action, whether it's working out with former players, whether it's working out with current teammates, whether it's working out with former Heisman Trophy, working out with Heisman Trophy winners and Super Bowl champions, whether it's spending time with Super Bowl winning head coaches, whatever it looks like, these guys are putting in the effort. These guys are putting in the work. And it's refreshing because I remember this time around last season, and I love the players Bama had in 2024, don't get me wrong. But I remember this time around last season, we saw guys, they would go on these nationally syndicated shows and podcasts, and they would say, this is what Bama's going to do. This is what we're going to put on the field. This is how we're going to look like. This is the way we're going to perform. And U.S. fans went, okay, stop it. Like, when is the action going to come? When are we going to do away with what we can do, what we're going to do, and when is it going to be pure action? Because that's what you guys are about, pure action, getting it down the field. Well, this year's version of Alabama football this offseason has been about what? Pure action. They've been getting it done offseason on the field, in training, in working out, in just doing different team building, team bonding things. We're even seeing, Kalen DeBoer as the head coach stay on these guys about that. We're seeing the assistant coaches on staff stay on these guys about that. We're seeing the leadership players on this team stay on themselves and their teammates about this. So this is good. This is awesome. This right here is what an offseason, what a championship offseason is looking like here under Kalen DeBoer. Now the biggest thing here is if this goes in the direction of Alabama getting to the college football playoff in the coming fall, contending for a national championship and ultimately winning one, then we're going to all come back to this offseason and say, this played a major role. This is what an offseason looks like under Kalen DeBoer. This is what a winning offseason should look like under Kalen DeBoer. So, I mean, if they take what they did this offseason and it goes a long way into winning the championship, then U.S. Bama Nation, you're going to look at this and go, okay, this is what a championship team looks like. This is what a championship offseason looks like. This is what it means, right, to have this type of an offseason that builds into winning a championship. So I'm excited about this. This is going to be intriguing. This is going to be very interesting. We're seeing right now guys putting in the work, guys putting in the bonding, no can-do speeches, what we're going to do speeches, what we may do speeches. This is pure action. And this is what happens when you have the expectation in year two of you got to get it done. Year one, Bama Nation, we are giving Kalen DeBoer the mulligan for year one, right? You're transitioning from the greatest to ever do it in Coach Saban, one of one, right? You go through all that which you went through in year one. You go through all the turmoil, all the trials and tests. Now, year 2, you've got your first recruiting class in. You've got your guys that have bought all the way into what you want to do. You've brought in your offensive coordinator, your guy, and Ryan Grubb. Now in year 2, Bama Nation is expecting results. College football playoff, contend for a national championship. They're expecting results from Kalen DeBoer. So now that results are expected from you, that expectation is put on you. And when that expectation is put on you, you have to do things differently. So I'm excited to see what this offseason is going to look, what this offseason transition into the regular season in the fall, what this will look like for Coach DeBoer here. But as always, Bama Nation, you got to hit that like button, smash that subscribe button right now, be a part of the #1 morning show in the nation, Bama Vision, on the hottest network talking your Bama content, the Bama Standard Network. Hit that subscribe button right now. Get locked in. If you are addicted to Alabama athletics, there's no other place to be at than this place right here to get yourself plugged in, to not miss a beat when it comes down to Alabama football. Also, you got to do this with having the best towel in the game right here, this title towel, WhitwillSports.com. I'm telling you, you got to have 100,000 of these waving, twirling, going strong on Saban Field, inside Bryant-Denny Stadium. Throw it up, wave it like you just don't care there, showing that support for Kalen DeBoer and Alabama football. This begins the winning mentality, the winning mindset for you as an Alabama fan. And you can get one of these by going to WhitwillSports.com, WhitwillSports.com. You use the promo code STANDARD. You get yourself a nice little discount there, courtesy of your favorite Bama network, the Bama Standard. But we will continue with a couple of your comments here. Hold on, let's get to a couple more of these comments here before we get to the second topic here of conversation. We got Nick Beasley show with Kalen. Got to wipe that smile off his face. It's time to get serious. I don't want to see him smile until we got that trophy. Now, Nick, look, I appreciate the passion that Nick coming from you. Appreciate the passion there, but Kalen DeBoer is not going to be a naturally serious coach as Coach Saban was for the Bama of 16 to 17 years. Kalen going to smile. Kalen going to be Kalen. But what I want Kalen to do is in the big moments, right, when it's crucial, when it's critical, get the job done. That's where Bama struggled at last year. The big moments, the critical moments, the important moments, just get the job done. That's the main thing that I want there from Coach DeBoer. Brock reposting this live stream. Appreciate you, Brock, for helping us out there, reposting the stream on his social media. Son writes in, Kalen's just naturally a nice guy, but you can tell the boosters are starting to get in his ear. You can tell that. You can tell the boosters are starting to get in his ear, but you can also, son, tell the fans are getting into his ear as well, because ever since the 2024 season ended and we've gotten to this offseason, a lot more focused, even more focused for DeBoer, even more locked in, not just on the recruiting trail, though he's been doing a fantastic job there, but also when you look at this upcoming season in the fall, DeBoer all the way locked in here. Let's see, Kennedy writes in, he had the best first year of any Bama head coach. DeBoer did. Record-wise, he did. But I go back to this right here. Alabama fans, when you are used to excellence, when you are used to success, when you are used to pure dominance, and the number one thing, when you are used to capturing championships, and there's a year or a string of years where you do not achieve that or obtain that, it's hard. It's difficult. You are frustrated. You are like, what's going on? What's happening here? Why is this program not winning titles? Why is this program why did it not capture a championship? What's the issue, right? So DeBoer did have a good first season. He did, despite all that happened. But at the same time, when it's not a championship season, for a lot of you in the Bama football family and community, when it's not a championship season, it's looked at as a letdown. It's looked at as a disappointment. We go back to Saban for a minute here. When Saban didn't capture a championship, it was looked at as a letdown. It was looked at as a disappointment. Why? Because back in 2007, what did Saban say when he first came off the plane? We're going to give you a product, a program that you can be proud of. For you as Alabama fans, what are you proud of? Titles, championships, winning, excellence, dominance, and being able to rub it in the face of rival fan bases. And when you're not able to do that, you ask yourself, what's the problem? What's going on? Right? Appreciate Herb and Raj podcast in here. Roll Tide, everyone. Appreciate Herb and Raj podcast, my guys. Herb and Raj Ragsdale. Love those guys, man. Appreciate them. Nick Beasley show. Shout out the Herb and Raj podcast as well. Kennedy writes in, also inherited a swapping roster. Yes, DeBoer did inherit a swapping roster. Kennedy, you are correct about that. Brian Russell writes in, it's not so much the record, it's how the team looked at times. Lack of focus is intensity, physicality. Brian, you're correct. It was a lack of focus. It was a lack of intensity. It was a lack of physicality at times. It was a lack of discipline at times. So it's not necessarily the record, but yes, how the team looked at times to get the record. Primarily against Vanderbilt, in which you suffered a loss. Tennessee, in which you suffered a loss. Oklahoma, you played terrible, and Bama suffered a loss. And then, of course, Michigan in the bowl game, suffering a loss right there. But appreciate you guys getting your comments in. Once again, questions coming at the end of the show. Hit that like there and subscribe button. We now transition to topic number 2. And this is former Tide players, a key to Bama winning a national championship. We are seeing an influx of former Alabama players pouring into these current guys this offseason. And this is really good because you're seeing the B-Sci-Fi love. You're seeing the brotherhood on full display because as much as the current players want a ring, as much as the current players want a national championship, and I've mentioned this before, the only guy on the roster, the current roster right now, that knows what a national championship tastes like is 6th-year player Jamarian Latham. He's the only one, as he got a championship ring in the 2020 COVID season, his freshman year. So the mass majority of this team does not know what it feels like, what it tastes like to win a national championship. So as much as the current players want to win, the former players want to see the program win too, because the former players are fans now. They want to see the program that they helped lay down a foundation for continue to win, continue to excel, continue to dominate, continue to succeed. So they take joy, they take pride in if a current player says, hey, man, can you train me? Hey, man, can you work with me? Hey, man, can you develop me? Hey, man, I saw you be a beast during your time, be a monster during your time at the University of Alabama. I'm trying to follow up what you did. Are there any tricks and tools to the trade that you can bestow to me that I may keep the tradition, keep the dominance going? And former players, they step in, wanting to help, wanting to be impactful. They get in there, they do that. So it's gonna be it's been great seeing these former players get involved, and we've seen this so far. We've seen this so far this entire offseason. When you look at, you've got Devontae Smith, Heisman Trophy winner 2020. Devontae Smith, Super Bowl champion. Devontae Smith, former 2-time national champion. Devontae Smith, who holds every record in the record book for an Alabama wide receiver. He pulls up on Ryan Williams wanting to work with him. Of course, Ryan went to him, but DeVonta Smith taking on the responsibility, wanting to work with Ryan because he sees Ryan as somebody that could be the next Heisman winner down the road. And not just working with Ryan, he also pulls up on Isaiah Horton, transfer from Miami, who's now at Alabama. Isaiah Horton, who all he needs is one more year of polish when you look at this upcoming season, and he's going to be prepared to head to the NFL draft. So having DeVonta Smith work with Smitty, or DeVonta Smith work with Ryan Williams, and work with Isaiah Horton, that's a big deal. Then you have guys like Justin Woodall, a 2009 national champion as a safety for the Crimson Tide. She's putting in work with Red Morgan, an Alabama native. Red Morgan, a former four-star. Red Morgan, who's added on muscle this offseason. Red Morgan, who is extremely versatile in the secondary, can play corner, can play husky, can play safety, and a Red Morgan that in this Kane Womack system is up for a very good season. You've got Justin Woodall working with him, training him, developing him. I mean, you've got Scott Lashley, former Alabama offensive lineman who transferred to Mississippi State. He's now coaching offensive linemen to be successful. Scott Lashley is working with who? Wilkin Formby, trying to help him pop off and be dominant as a right tackle. So we're seeing former players get their hands on current guys. And you want that. You want that. You want that. You want that. You want former players getting their hands on current guys because it's a good thing to watch them succeed. It's a good thing to watch them excel. It's a good thing to watch them pop. And I think this is going to be key. I think that this will be key to this Alabama team getting a championship because it's the program opening up their arms to embrace these former players, embrace, what they're doing, embrace how they want to give back to the program, embrace how they want to help the Tuscaloosa community, embrace wanting to see Alabama get back to snatching national championships again. Because the last 2 years, we have watched the Big Ten hoist the college football playoff national championship trophy. Whether it was Michigan to end the 2023 season, Ohio State to end last season. And as Alabama fans, I know that bothers you guys when you go to the end of the year and it's not an SEC team. More importantly, it's not your Crimson Tide hoisting the college football playoff national championship trophy. It's a Big Ten program hoisting that thing. If you're an Alabama fan, that eats at you. That bothers you. That really frustrates you. Number one, it frustrates you because this is the Southeastern Conference. This is where it means more. It means something to teams in the SEC to play for that national championship. It means something for teams in the SEC to hoist up that trophy as national champions. And number two, and just as important, if not even more important, when you're an Alabama fan and you cheer for the program with the slogan, "This is where legends are made," and the place where legends are made is not in that national championship game, competing for that national title and hoisting that trophy at the end of the college football season, that bothers you also. So as much as it bothers you, the common fan, think of how much it bothers those former players. That's why they're coming out in a bigger way, wanting to help DeBoer, wanting to help this team, get back to winning, national championships. So I think having these former players is a big deal. Having these guys help out, pitch in, wanting to see the program they made a foundation for get back to winning national championships is a huge deal, especially starting off here in the second season of Kalen DeBoer as the head coach there. But as always, Bama Nation, as always, Bama Nation, you know what to do here. You got to hit that like button. You got to hit that subscribe button. You got to be locked in on the number one morning show out here in the game right now, Bama Vision. Yours truly, Stephen M. Smith, on the number one network, talking your Bama football content and Bama athletics content, that being the Bama Standard Network. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, be a part of the show. I appreciate you for all of your comments. We're taking those questions coming here at the end of the show, but hit that like and subscribe button. Also, get your hands on this title towel. Have 100,000 of these, waving, going crazy, throwing it up on Saban Field inside Bryant-Denny Stadium. This starts your winning mentality. If you want to put yourself in the winning mindset to open the season against Florida State, you better have this towel going crazy down there in Tallahassee. Or if not against Florida State, at least for Alabama's first home game, have this towel in Tuscaloosa going crazy in support of your Alabama Crimson Tide. Twirl it, wave it like you just don't care. You go to whitwillsports.com. That's whitwillsports.com. You use the promo code STANDARD. You get your nice little discount there, courtesy of your favorite Bama network, the Bama Standard. Appreciate you guys showing that support there for Title Town. We'll take a few more comments here. We'll get this one from the Reuben Raj podcast. My guys, Stephen, thanks for jumping on with us last night. Hey, Herb, Raj, no problem. Always enjoy to help out with you guys. Reuben Raj podcast, which streams also on the Bama Standard Network. Check out those guys. My guys, Reuben Raj, outstanding. Coach Warren writes in, defensive linemen doing workouts on sand. They are. And those guys are working with Coach Swift out of Birmingham, Winning Edge. That's the top offensive lineman and defensive lineman training. Coach Swift, Winning Edge in Birmingham. He's got those guys training on sand. And that being Tim Keenan, Isaiah Faga, Kelby Collins, among other guys training there on sand. You also got my guy, Coach Leonard Stevens, Coach Ale, step-by-step performance training in Birmingham. He's got Jeremiah Beeman. He's got Kelby Collins, among others, training, working with him. So these guys are putting in the work. I've mentioned this. This is not the can-do speeches off-season, the what we're going to do off-season, what we may do. These are guys head down, no talking, working. And even if they are doing podcasts, it's them talking about how last season sucked, last season trash, last season terrible. We're not experiencing that again. We're putting in the work. We're putting in the grind. And I've stated this quite a few times. Bama needed the 2024 season to happen to it. It needed the wave of new coach coming in, new transfer players coming in, Saban leaving out. They needed this whole melting pot of things to happen so that it can reestablish the core values of Alabama football, even now under Kalen DeBoer. Reestablish those core values. Keep those core foundational things in line there. Absolutely. Brian Russell writes in, props to all the older players helping out, 100%. Understanding the standard and establishing an identity will get us back to where we need to be. Roll Tide, absolutely. Having the former players help out is a big deal because they've played in the program. They've laid down that foundation. They know what it takes to win at the end of the day. So to have them come back, embrace these guys, embrace this program, put their hands on these current players, and show them this is how to win. This is how to be elite. This is how to dominate. This is a good thing. But also, shout out to the current players and shout out to the coaching staff for warning the former players and embracing them back. This is a two-way street, right? You got to be able to put the love out there, but you also have to be willing to reciprocate and receive the love, right? So big ups to the former players for doing this, but also big ups to the current players and the current coaching staff wanting to give the former players an avenue, wanting to give the former players an opportunity to do this and to let their impact be made known here. Nick Beasley Show writes in, our biggest problem last year, Milroe couldn't do anything but run and throw a deep ball. And as talented as Meal Ticket was, and Meal Ticket very talented, and want to see the best for him in the National Football League for the Seattle Seahawks, Nick Beasley, you are correct. One of the issues with Milroe was not the most consistent passer in terms of the 10 to 15-yard route, the short to intermediate route, and looking off defenders and reading those defenses consistently as he's going through progressions in the passing game. That was an issue there, for Milroe. Could it have been, Alabama not having him the right quarterback coach to help out with the offensive play calling? Maybe, but that's neither here nor there anymore. Right now, you have Ryan Grubb as the OC. Alabama held on to Nick Sheridan as the quarterback coach. So the quarterbacks on this roster right now, Ty Simpson, Qua Russaw, Austin Mack, they have this with the offensive coordinator and the quarterback coach there. Nick Beasley also writes in, like Kalen said, he said him not getting advice from Saban would be crazy. Same with former players. True. Getting advice from the former players is a big deal. Getting advice from them is a big deal. So big ups to the former players coming in here, helping out. It's big. Really like what this team is doing. But we transition now, Bama fans, to the final topic of conversation for tonight. For this morning, my bad, tonight, my goodness. For this morning here on Bama Visions, get your breakfast pastry and your coffee. I'm talking about tonight. I need to get my breakfast pancake on right now. But anyway, final topic of conversation. This going to the defense for Alabama. Qua Russaw, is he the closer that Alabama needs defensively? And by closer, I'm saying, is he the guy that gets the sacks, the big sacks, the big quarterback hurries, the tackles for loss, the forced fumbles, the big plays in the opposition's backfield? Is Qua Russaw that kind of a closer? When you look at players in years past at Alabama, Bama has always had that closer in the backfield. When you look at the 1992 Bama championship team, who are the closers? John Copeland and Eric Curry. You always knew Copeland and Curry, meet me at the quarterback. Bang, I'm taking the guy out, right? Before Copeland and Curry, who did you have? Biscuit, Big Cornelius Bennett. Steve Burling out of Notre Dame still lost his marbles when Cornelius Bennett knocked the life out of him, right? Cornelius Bennett was a closer. You look at Derek Thomas, DT, was a closer in every sense of the word. He was a pure closer. You could not stop him. Even if you knew Derek Thomas was about to come right at you at 100 miles per hour, you couldn't stop DT. Then you look at guys in the Saban era. Marcel Darius was a closer. You couldn't stop him. Ashawn Robinson, closer. You couldn't stop him. Jonathan Allen, closer. Couldn't stop him. Tim Williams, closer. Couldn't stop him. Ryan Anderson, closer. Couldn't stop him. Tim Williams, closer. Couldn't stop him. It's still insane. 2021, the year Will Anderson had 17 and a half sacks. 34 and a half tackles for loss. Just crazy. Closer. Couldn't stop him. When you look at Qua Russaw, is he that guy? Closer to where you cannot stop him. He's getting sacks. He's getting tackles for loss. He's affecting the quarterback. He's getting quarterback hurries. Well, when I look at Qua Russaw, I think he can be. I think Qua can be. And here's the reason why. Qua last year got banged up a little bit, had the injury against Wisconsin, the leg injury. He was able to fight his way back. He returned for the Georgia game. And in the Georgia game, He showed flashes last season in that game that he could be a closer. He had a big sack in that game off Carson Beck, big strip sack fumble in that game, recorded an interception in that game. Qua did different things in that game that had you go, ooh, he stays healthy. This bully from Carver High School in Montgomery, he can be something. He's the next one, right? Qua this offseason dropped weight. He dropped 10 pounds, going from 251 to 241 on a 6'2" frame. He's been working this offseason with his guys, Madhouse Training in Montgomery. They're getting them right for this season. They're getting them right because they know Qua is the type of guy that can unleash fury on college football, on the SEC. If he stays healthy and he's able to finish plays, he's the closer. He's healthy and he's able to get that pass rush down. He's a closer, right? He's got all the potential in the world to do that, and to be that. We saw him at Carver High School in Montgomery with James Smith. They tore opposition up. They ate opposition alive. Now they're back together at the University of Alabama. Qua Russaw's got this chance here to eat opposition alive. And like I mentioned, we've seen guys that have come through this program that were absolute dogs. They were beasts. They were able to make it happen from a defensive pass rush perspective. And I think Qua Russaw brings what a closer needs to the table. He's just got to put it all together. He's got to put it all together this season. And the good thing for him is he's going to have help in doing that, right? Because you have the guys up front. You have the Tim Keenans. You have the James Smiths. You have the Jordan Renaas. You have the LT Overtons. You have the Jeremiah Beamans, among others, that are going to do their job up front, which opens up Russaw as that rush, as that wolf linebacker to come off the edge, wham, lay the quarterback out, right? When you got guys up front doing their job, it makes your opportunity even better as the outside linebacker to come up, do your job, hit the quarterback, take him out, hit the running back, force tackles for loss in the backfield. It makes your job a whole lot easier. So I think Qua is the closer that Alabama needs. He's just got to produce it on the field this season and produce it in a way to where even when the opposition knows you're coming right at it, they are not able to stop you. I think if he stays healthy, Russaw's a game wrecker. Absolutely, if he stays healthy. Because this is one of the things that Bama's been lacking. If you look at the history of championship Bama teams, having consistent bookend closers and winning championships, they go hand in hand. 92, you had two consistent bookend closers, Eric Curry, John Copeland. Bama won a national championship. In 2009, you had closers. You had a Marcel Darius who could close. You had a Eric Anders who closed in that national championship game against Texas. You had guys that could close. You won a national championship. 2011, you had guys that could close. Donta Hightower could close. Courtney Upshaw could show enough close, and you win a national championship. 2012, same thing. You had guys on that team that could close and seal the deal, and you win a championship. 2015, you had an Ashawn Robinson who could close. You had a Jaron Reed who could close. You had a Jonathan Allen who could close. You had a Tim Williams and a Ryan Angryman Anderson that could show enough close, and you won a championship off that. 2017, the same deal. You had a Rashawn Evans who could close. You had a Deron Payne who could close. You had other guys on that team that could close, that could shut it down. And a championship was won off that. So having those closers is a good deal, is a big deal. So I'm going to say this. I look at Qua Russaw. He stays healthy. I look at Qua Russaw. He develops a bit more pass rush moves this summer, going into fall camp. This dude's the next closer. He's the next closer. He is built like he will be the next closer. The potential is there. The mentality is there. The mindset's there. The size is there. The speed is there. The power is there. All he needs to do is stay healthy and put together a couple of more pass rush moves to really frustrate these offensive tackles in the SEC, frustrate these offensive tackles in college football. And what a better way to start it for Qua Russaw than the opening game against Florida State, because we all know Gus Malzahn, the OC for the Seminoles, former Auburn head football coach, he is going to throw a lot at Alabama. Gus Malzahn is going to throw a lot at Alabama. So what a perfect situation. What a marquee situation for Russaw to get off, be explosive, finish in the backfield, and be that closer the opening game against Florida State to offset anything that Gus Malzahn is going to look to try to do. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited for Qua. I'm pumped up for him. Looking forward to seeing what he does here in the regular season for Alabama. But starting off in the offseason, get himself prepared to have a monster year, be the closer that Alabama needs. But, folks, we're going to get, folks, as always, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, be a part of the best morning show in the game, Bama Vision. Yours truly, Stephen M. Smith, every Wednesday, 9 a.m. Central Time on YouTube, right here on the Bama Standard Network. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, be a part of the conversation. We're hitting you with the best in Bama athletics. If you want nothing but the absolute expertise in Alabama, look no further than this right here, the Bama Standard Network. Appreciate you guys. Also, get your hands on this title towel. WhitwillSports.com. Gotta have it. 100,000 of these, throwing it up, waving, screaming, yelling, twirling on Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium in the fall. This begins the winning mentality for you as an Alabama football fan, getting this title towel right here. To get one, you go to WhitwillSports.com. That's WhitwillSports.com. You hit the promo code STANDARD. Get yourself a nice little discount there, courtesy of your favorite Bama network, the Bama Standard. Well, right now, Bama Nation, it's everybody's favorite time. It is Q&A time, question and answer time. I can interact with you guys, the Bama Standard family. Let's see what you got right here. Let's see what you got right here. Q&A time for you guys. And the first question we got here of the day comes from, let's see here, Jeff Hughes. Jeff Hughes writes in, Steve, and I ask you again, who in college football will have a better defensive back room than Alabama? Jeff, that's a good one. That's a tough one, because even though Ohio State, they've got Caleb Downs back as an entire room, I look at Alabama's entire room. I think Bama's entire room is the best room in the country. You look at the entire room. You've got a Xavier Brown. You've got a Damani Jackson. You've got a Dijon Lee. You've got a Deshaun Jones, a Red Morgan, a Drake Kirkpatrick Jr., a Keon Sabb, a Bray Hubbard. You got several guys. That room is deep. That room is deep. That room is crazy talented. That room is crazy good. I mean, Ohio State, yes, they've got Caleb Downs, but I think the best room in the country, especially they go out there and do what we know they're capable of doing, I got to go with Alabama as far as the best room in the country. Kenneth writes in, can Gillespie get these guys to the finish line? Roll Tide always. Coach Gillespie, Robert Gillespie, Coach G, Alabama's running backs coach, he's going to have a good year with these guys. You got 6 backs in this rotation, from Jam Miller, Richard Young, Dre Washington, Daniel Hill, Kevin Riley, and A.K. Deere. I mean, Gillespie's going to get this one to the finish line. I think the bigger question is, who is the hot hand within this group, right? Who is the hot hand? Who becomes the primary back? I don't necessarily think Alabama needs a bell cow this year. I think who becomes the primary back, who's the number two guy, who's kind of a change of pace, but who has the hot hand, right? And I think Coach G, in understanding that you got to be able to not only run the football, but catch the ball out the backfield, be able to pass block exceptionally well. Who is the hot hand? I think that's the biggest thing there, Kenneth. Would appreciate your question right there. Son writes in, problems we had last year, O-line consistency, receivers running wide open. Think we can improve, Stephen? Look, hey, consistency on the offensive line, I think with Coach Chris Kaplick, that will be improved. The main thing is your starting five, getting that starting five in order. You know what you're getting from Parker Brailsford at center. You know for the most part what you have in Caden Proctor. You just want his footwork to improve. Jaden Roberts, when he's healthy, he's an animal. You want him to stay healthy. At that left guard position, I kind of want to see Cam Dewberry, the transfer from Texas A&M, take that, run with that, and don't look back. No offense to Geno Vandermark, but I kind of just want Cam Dewberry to take that guard job, run with it, and not look back. At right tackle, Wilkin Formby, he needs to pop. Because it would not make any sense for Bama to bring over this transfer from Ball State, Arkel Enyiguam. And Arkel has a All-American type body, but it would make no sense for Bama to bring him in from Ball State. And Wilkin Formby, you've been here for a while, and the guy from Ball State comes and takes your job? I want to see Wilkin Formby pop this thing out, win it, and don't look back. But get the starting five in order. That's the main thing there. And then receivers running wide open. I think Alabama can improve that offensively by hitting those wide receivers running wide open. And that'll be the big thing. Defensively, being able to shut down some of the best receivers in college football. I believe Kane Womack and then the Alabama defensive secondary coaches, Maurice Linguist and Jason Jones, they have the remedy there for that. But appreciate Son for his thought right there. Kennedy writes in, do we march out in a three-man defensive front? No. You know what? I think Womack and Freddie Roach have gotten together on a conversation, and I think both of those guys understand you got to have four guys stopping the run. You got to have four down linemen to stop this run. So I think Womack understands it. Of course, Freddie Roach gets it. They've got something worked out. I don't think there'll be a lot of those three down linemen on run plays this season. Kenneth, but appreciate your thought right there. Clover writes in, Bray makes all SEC this year. Bray Harper's got a shot to make all SEC. If he duplicates the season he had last year, maybe add an interception more, maybe add a couple more pass breakups, he could be first team all SEC. He could be. So if he duplicates the numbers he had last year and maybe add one more interception and a couple more pass breakups, I can see a Clover that Bray having an all SEC year. But appreciate Bray. I appreciate Clover for that question there. Clover writes back in here, new to the channel as Ty beat any SEC competition. Has Ty led Alabama to win the SEC? What's his win percentage as a starting quarterback? Trying to understand this love affair with the junior with no stats or SEC wins. I'll say this. With Ty has played in 16 games across 3 years, Clover. He's played 16 games. He's the only quarterback on Alabama's roster right now with time on task in terms of he's been in games. He's been on the field. He understands what to do, how to do, and the purpose of doing it. I go back to the 2023 season when Alabama took on South Florida in Tampa, and Jalen Milroe was benched that game. and Tyler Buckner got the start that game. And Buckner struggled. And Alabama went with Ty Simpson off the bench, and he led Alabama to 17 unanswered points. The Tide won that game 17-3. So no, Ty hasn't led Alabama to any SEC wins. No, this will be his first upcoming season this year where he has been the starting quarterback. But he has played in 16 games across 3 years. He knows what to do in situations leading this football team. So I'm excited to see what Ty Simpson does as far as the starting quarterback this season. He's earned the opportunity to go out there and start here for this Crimson Tide roster. So appreciate Clover there for his thoughts. Also, we got Bevo in here. Appreciate Bevo jumping in, being a part here of the conversation. Bevo, Ty, really good backup. Don't know about him as a starter. Well, we're going to all see that this season with Ty Simpson here for the Crimson Tide. I appreciate all of you guys being a part here of today's conversation, getting your questions and getting your questions in here. Let's see here. We got Son back up here. He wrote in, do you think Grubb will be on the sidelines or in the booth? That's the famous question of every Alabama fan. Will Ryan Grubb be on the sideline or in the booth? That's a good one. I'm not quite sure. It's going to be fun to see where does he end up. If he is on the sideline, then Nick Sheridan would be in the booth. If Sheridan's in the booth, Grubb may be on the sideline. I think it all depends on where will they have Nick Sheridan as the quarterback coach. I think wherever they have Nick Sheridan, that will play a role in where Ryan Grubb will be. So that's my answer to that question there, Son. Wherever they have Nick Sheridan at, that's where I think Ryan Grubb will be. But hopefully, I mean, if they have Ryan Grubb in the booth, he'll excel in the booth. If they have Ryan Grubb on the field, he'll excel in the field. It'll just be fun to see where will they have Nick Sheridan, and then that'll play a role in where could we possibly see Ryan Grubb at. But appreciate all of you guys for getting in your thoughts on the show and making this your show, your spot for all things Bama football right here on the Bama Standard Network. I know Coach Warren had wrote in. I'm trying to find his question here, Coach. I know Coach Warren wrote in about a call. Yeah, that was Kennedy, my man. Kennedy actually wrote in. Steve, will you ever do another call-in show? That's being worked on. That's being put in the works. When will it come? We'll see. But another call-in show, that's being put in the works here. So stay tuned. Keep your eyes peeled. Stay ready. Another call-in show is being put here in the works. We'll see when it happens, but appreciate Kennedy getting this question in, and all of you guys getting your thoughts in on this show. Appreciate everybody being a part here. Hottest morning show out here, Bama Vision. Yours truly, Stephen M. Smith here of the Bama Standard Network. As always, you can follow me, Coaching M. Smith on Twitter, X Twitter, Coaching M. Smith right there, helping out Pale City Football also. So at Coaching M. Smith right there on Twitter. You can find me every Wednesday, 9 a.m. Central Time right here on Bama Vision, bringing you your Bama football conversation, your Bama football content. You can also find me doing articles all over this great network, BamaStandard.com. Check it out right there, BamaStandard.com. I'm pushing articles out the bakery. You can check it out right there. Also, be sure to follow the cast here. We have an incredible cast. We've got incredible shows all throughout the week. So we got a different flavor for you. You can see it right there at the bottom of the ticker, right at the bottom of the screen. If you're feeling the opening kick, if you're feeling Crimson Dynasty, if you're feeling Teague's Take, if you're feeling college football chatter, if you're feeling Constantly Smoking, if you're feeling Herb and Raj podcast, anything that you're feeling, if you're feeling the final whistle, anything that you are feeling on this network, it's at the bottom of the screen. We've got you well taken care of every day of the week. when you talk about Crimson Tide football. If you're feeling talking Bama, that's your flavor. My boys, JB, JT, Herb. Hey, we got you right here on the Bama Standard Network. You can follow the cast right there. But appreciate every single last one of you guys for being a part here of the conversation today. Till next time, people, be good, be blessed. As always, roll Tide.